beautiful thing about having sugar relationships when they're done right and they're done well and they're done in a healthy way is everything is upfront, authentic, and on the table.
Yeah.
So I always knew what my role was when I was seeing Kevin. He always knew what his role was with me. And I grew tremendously under his mentorship and almost fatherliness, if you will.
Okay.
He was instrumental. And okay, so one thing that people don't know.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the number one sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good, the bad,
Marcus.
and Angie,
Hello.
the very shocking stories of sugar dating.
So many stories.
You guys hear that voice? The sweet voice of Angie, who's come to visit us today.
She hasn't been around for a while.
It's been a year.
I know.
And
I know.
here you are.
A year?
A whole year.
Oh, and
I feel privileged.
welcome, Vivian.
Thank you.
So,
My new BFF.
so what happened? I wasn't even scheduled to record today, but Vivian is off on another adventure tomorrow.
I am.
You've been traveling around the world.
I have been.
Well, actually, the U.S.
The
mostly.
United States.
Yeah.
Sure.
On your new government job.
I have been.
That's
Yes.
top secret
Mm-hmm.
that you got because of sugar dating.
I did.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
And then Angie was helping her today. What you guys running? I know you were drinking before the show.
Yeah.
So
just a couple cocktails.
We
you
had a
know?
couple.
few right
Yeah.
next door. We walked over.
That's what girls do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you ever want to be a guest on our show, we've got a great little spot next door called Schmooze. Isn't that great?
Oh my God.
Oh,
They've
so
got
good.
indoor, outdoor. The patio's
Look,
beautiful.
if you go there, you have to ask for Emily.
Yeah.
the bartender.
Yeah, she's the
She
best.
took care of you guys.
The
She took-
alchemist.
She is full of alchemy.
So the nice thing is you go over there, you can have some brunch or a nice snack and some drinks, and then like literally walk right into the studio.
That's
Yeah.
what we did.
And here you are.
Oh, man.
So you've heard about our party coming up.
I'm sorry.
Angie.
What's my name?
Oh, Angie, you've heard about our party coming up, right?
No. Hello. No.
Well, you
No?
are invited.
Well, I have not gotten an invite.
Okay, well, it's
so-
pending. It was not to be determined. It just
Do
has,
tell.
I haven't sent the text yet. So the big party, and we're getting some good submissions in. Thank you for those, and keep them coming. But in the November 25th weekend, we are giving away a 3-day, 2-night package to come to Phoenix and party with the crew of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
What? Okay, so I have not been in the loop
Yeah?
for a solid year.
All right, get this.
Tell me what has transpired with the show. Like, where are you guys
Well,
at?
yeah, but let's talk about the party first.
Oh, okay.
Party first.
Let's get that out of the way.
Okay, tell me about
All right.
the party.
So the party is Pitbull, Ricky Martin,
What?
and Enrique Iglesias, all in one night.
Like Ricky Suave.
Footprint Center. We're getting a private suite. Remember, like we did for the Dua Lipa concert?
Yes.
22 people. We're giving away 8 sugar baby packages, and they just go to our website. They fill out the form. It's
And
kind
the
of like a
sugar
survey.
babies get to come and
You're invited. You're taken care of.
Kev's going to be there.
oh,
He already has a slot. He took your last slot, right? For the man?
Well, I think I have 2 sugar daddy spots left. The sugar
Ooh.
daddy spots now do cost.
Yeah,
The other ones are
exactly.
free.
Yep,
As they
absolutely.
should.
As they should,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the perk. So it's going to be 3 days, 2 nights. There's a pre-party at my house before
Okay.
the concert on Saturday night.
yeah.
Transportation to and from
Okay.
in a party bus or limo.
I just keep getting more and more excited.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and then I've got some Airbnbs that we'll be putting up the travelers in, so they'll get their own room. Most will get their own bathroom, and get to hang out with other people in their lifestyle.
I'm really excited about that.
I mean, you remember how the one at Dua Lipa
It
went.
was.
That
I mean,
was so
I
much fun, right?
still am amazing friends with the people that I met at the
Right.
Dua Lipa. Like, it was
Well, that's where
fantastic.
you introduced Kevin
Yes.
to me. I hadn't known him before that.
Yes.
And now he's a fun part of the show.
And then I met my friend Nicole,
Yeah.
and I don't know her. You'll have to edit this. I don't know her podcast name.
Lily.
Lily. That's really where
Yeah, that's where
I
you
got
met Lily.
introduced. Yeah. And then what was our girl from Egypt? It was one of our
yeah.
first podcasts.
What did she go by?
She was there.
Yeah, she was there with her friend.
Yeah.
So
it was a fantastic time. I'm really excited.
yeah, and it's a lot of fun because you get people together that are in the same lifestyle, and it's a very freeing, open, liberating feeling of being able to talk about it.
Yeah.
And you share this in common,
Yeah.
and you understand what we're all going through.
Yeah.
It's
so
pretty
a lot of fun,
refreshing.
Yeah. So anyway, go to our website, fill out the form. We're getting, like I said, a lot of good submissions, but you get in early, you have a better chance. I'm going to just put it that way.
You get it, see the faces attached to the names.
Right. So we're still about 3.5 months away, but it's never too soon to fill
I
out
saw
that
one of
form.
your latest
Submissions.
submissions.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, I got a funny. So
damn.
Tell me about it. I want to hear.
No, they're pretty good. So last week, you haven't heard this episode yet. It's released now, but as of this recording, you haven't heard it. We interviewed Rachel Yucatel from her podcast called Misunderstood and her producer, Kelly. Rachel's famously tied into Tiger Woods, but that's the whole thing. She can't get away from that stigma, and the whole podcast is about breaking free of what everybody thinks of you to what you really are. And she interviews a lot of people. She has a lot of great interviews. And I really like the one with Chris Hansen. You guys haven't heard that one, but you remember To Catch a Predator?
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
Yeah,
She had a
of
great
course.
interview with him, a very heartfelt interview with Dr. Drew,
Okay.
who I'm a big fan
Yeah,
of.
me
And
too.
I actually remember the show Celebrity Rehab that she was on.
Right.
And that was, so we talked about a lot of great things. If you haven't heard that episode last week, go back and check it out. It is fantastic. It's probably one of my new favorite episodes.
I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah. So
It sounds great.
it's good. I mean, we get into, a little bit about the politics of dating because a lot of times when you're sugar dating, I talked about a situation where I'd met this pretty liberal girl. She wasn't happy that I had a Hummer because it was a gas guzzler. She drove a Fiat. And then when we went by the dump, I made a joke.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. And she wasn't happy about the joke about that being my favorite place because it's bad for the environment. But it's just like, this is real life, So we didn't get along in our political.
You are not emissions
Yeah.
appropriate.
No, I wasn't. So we talked a little bit about that because, there are women that hang out in one pool, but they want to fish out of the other pool, which most sugar daddies are moderate to conservative Republican views. Not all, but
I would agree.
yeah, because they're the higher money earners. They believe that they know better what to do with their money than the government. So they want to keep more so they can expand their business, employ more people instead of the government taking it away and wasting it.
Yeah, it's not really a moral or political view. I don't think for most sugar daddies. I think they're just higher, like you said, income earners. And so they are very much against government telling them what to do with their money or
Right.
mandating laws that then impose taxes or fees or
and
whatever on their
And the
money.
overregulation of
Right,
businesses and
100%.
all that. So it was kind of interesting that we got into that conversation because I know that Rachel seems to lean on the other side. And I'm like, okay, you're looking for a powerful, successful man who's going to treat you like this, this, and this.
Right.
But you're going to have to fish into the pool that you're not a part of.
Yeah, I think it gets really interesting in the social, economic, kind of views of things. I think as you begin to date men who are much more financially well off and powerful in their realm, if you will, they do tend to get a little bit more conservative. I don't think socially their views tend to be more conservative. I think most of them are fine with however you want to identify or live your life or all that's fine.
That's where I kind of say the moderate.
Yeah.
They're kind
but
of in the
when
middle.
it comes to financial regulations, when it comes to those kinds of topics, they seem to be a little bit more conservative.
Mm-hmm.
It is an interesting thing. You do have to know how to kind of deal with that. They're more traditional men, typically.
Yeah. It's very hard to find a liberal.
I would say Kevin's a more traditional man.
Well, yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find a liberal, democratic, successful man. I mean, there's plenty there. But who wants to work that hard just to give away
So
everything?
I'm going to actually, okay, this is not sugar daddy related. I'm going to challenge that idea just a little bit. I think
Go ahead.
that they are more liberal until they start making a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then they begin to realize how things really run economically.
Yep.
Like the undercurrent of politics and money and making big money. And I think if you have someone who's very liberal initially trying to start their business, then they are like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense for my business. Or why are you trying to control? And they inevitably kind of fall into that current of being a little bit more traditional and conservative.
Yeah. No, it's a tough line.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to pay my employees more. I'd love for them to all get raises and
Right.
all have health care and all this. But then I've got to charge my customer a price and I'm not getting the jobs because I'm so overpriced. So I've
Right.
got to be competitive in the marketplace when I do my bids.
Right.
You know, it's tough. It's a tough line. Like I want people to succeed, but I also need more money so I can expand the business and delve into
I mean,
new
I guess
things.
that's the great thing about sugaring. It's kind of tax free.
Is that right?
I mean,
Is that right, Vivian?
Yep. Totally. Totally right.
What are you doing with your phone over there? You're so distracted.
I'm sending videos to Kev. Kimmy and Kev.
mostly Kev.
I'm sending update to Kimmy and Kev.
All right. So,
Because I missed both of them.
Yeah,
Both of them are gone.
We're gonna go there.
okay. So
Are we?
Oh, we're going there.
What,
Oh,
so
okay.
what's going on with you and your boss?
I'm so excited
You know,
for this conversation.
a few episodes ago, we did announce that he had made a request for you to be exclusive. His
Did you make that
girlfriend.
announcement?
Didn't we talk about that?
I mean, you and I talked about that privately when I was at your
did?
house, but I don't think we discussed that.
Oh,
But
you know
yes,
what we discussed? We discussed that you guys did the deed.
We did the deed, is what we discussed.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new discussion that's getting ready to take place.
Okay.
Yeah, the new discussion.
All right. So I guess the update is, I guess we didn't
No, we did not.
reveal that. So he has asked you to be his girlfriend.
Yes. Official.
And you said,
Yes.
oh, congratulations.
The OG has officially been taken off the market.
Now,
How
mean-
fucking great for you guys.
how you feel about that?
You know what? That was a question that was earlier asked
Yeah.
as well from Miss Angie when we were drinking like an hour, 45 minutes ago. I feel great about it. To be honest, I feel great about it. He's
Yeah.
a great person. It's a great man. We got along for a long time. We worked together since, we met probably February, early March, and we worked together a lot. Until
4 months ago.
Yeah, we worked together until June before anything even flirtatious, kind of like, over the boundaries, if you will. And then mid-June is when we...
And then
you
someone
know.
gives you a yoga trapeze, and the next
Yes.
thing you know, you're
Listen.
Facebook official.
Wait, now, what?
So
What is the story?
my wonderful new friend, Angie, recently gave me, we made a trade. So,
was a good trade.
Yeah, one of Kev's friends who's on the show, his name is Sean. Sorry, Sean, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Okay, you
But
guys remember Sean from
Bring it back.
the
Yeah.
Depot episode, I
He
think.
is the one who paid. He had a sugar baby come to his house. They didn't hit it off. And so he left and gave her the money to clean his house instead.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And he's
That-
also the one that fell in love with the stripper in
Yes.
Hong Kong and
Yes.
Tijuana. And
Yes,
then
yes.
she had basically
Murdered someone?
murdered her boyfriend.
Or
or
murdered her
something.
boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah, so if you
So
haven't
anyway,
heard those episodes,
You just
yeah,
can't save
they're
some
great.
people.
So Sean, I met in real life a few times, and he became extremely smitten with me.
What do you
Yeah.
think of Sean?
You know what? He's a person. He's a very fun individual. I like that we could talk philosophy and physics and randomness. But in conclusion, I met him and I was discussing things, and he was just a little bit smitten with me. And then 2 days later, he comes back over to Kev's house and he's like, "I bought you this gift." And because I casually mentioned that I want to learn how to make pasta, and he brought me a pasta maker.
Now, does he know that you and Kevin are?
No, he does not. He knew that we were like,
Because him and Kevin are friends.
right, they're very good friends. But
I interject.
go ahead,
I know whatever his podcast name is.
Sean.
Sean. Thank you. I know Sean very well. And I would differ that he very much knew.
He knew that it was a thing.
There was definitely a thing going on because
Well,
he knows
there-
Kevin very well.
Yeah, well,
Like,
he
knew.
doesn't. There wasn't. I feel like when we were hanging out, there wasn't a thing yet. Like we didn't solidify. We just fooled around. We made out on one of our trips, but that was it.
So
And
he
then-
thought you were, at that time, he thought you were just like one of the girls.
right, one of the randos, or just working for him still.
Right,
which I
right.
thought I was as well. To
Fair
be
enough.
honest. And then so a few days later, he comes over and he buys me a gift, which is very thoughtful because I mentioned this casually, a pasta maker. Which is fine, but I don't really like pasta that much to have it. But you know what I really
You know
like?
who likes pasta? Sean.
Right.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm talking to Angie and I'm like, I don't really want this pasta maker, but like, I guess I'll make pasta once, make a dinner or whatever. And she's like, well, I just moved to a new place and I can't hang my yoga swing, like a trapeze, like fabric yoga swing. I was like, listen, I used to have one of those from the state I'm from and I loved it. But I always used it for working out. I wonder if it would be for other things.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like a sex swing?
Yeah.
Of course. Well, okay. And here's the thing. Angie loves to cook. Like, look.
Loves it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I remember that's
Like-
one of the things when I first met you. You had a meal prep business.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I love
all kinds of
to
things.
cook.
Yeah. She likes to cook a little bit more than I do, which is great.
Fortunately, I just moved into a beautiful new place, very swanky, love all of it. However, because it is a new build and it's a taller building, it has those aluminum studs in the ceilings.
Right.
I can't hang my yoga trapeze.
Oh.
Yeah, can't have it. Made me very
Butterfly
sad.
screw. You just need a butterfly screw.
Well, this
so
is a
don't tell me that
conversation.
now.
No, don't tell her that. Well, it's used and abused now.
So, well, there's no return.
I don't know if you'd want it after the last few days I've had it.
She told me a couple stories. We're going to get there. So she
goodness.
said, hey,
We
look,
love
I would really
stories.
like to have this yoga trapeze. I said, you know what? You can have my yoga trapeze. You know what I'd like to have? I'd really like to have a pasta machine. She said, okay, cool. We're going to trade. So I dropped off the yoga trapeze.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it's been used for a lot of yoga.
It was used one time for yoga so far.
Yoga or pictures?
No, it's been used one time for yoga.
Okay.
Like a good solid
A good
20 minutes,
solid-
half hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Like half hour. So I used it for stretch
Good.
and like inversion to pull apart your spine and
Yeah.
a few moves like the butterfly, different things. But then Kev and I were like, let's use it for other things. And he's used, apparently he's so, which is so funny because, no, I'm sorry.
Angie. It's fine.
Angie knows Kev because previous relationships and
OG.
Really, yeah, the original.
Yeah, the OG.
And I'm like, God, does he have? And she goes, you can hang this in Kev's bedroom. He has
a hook.
I know for a fact. And I was like, say what? So then I messaged him like, how strong? Because he's out of town. I'm like, how strong is that hook? Asking just for a friend.
Very, very strong.
Apparently it's very strong.
Well anchored.
So apparently the hook is very strong. So I hook it up. He gets back from vacation or not vacation. I'm sorry, from a work trip. And then I just go in it, obviously, and we play around with it. So he's apparently only used a sex swing, which he said that his sex swing was difficult because the girl has to like balance and hold on to herself and lean back. So it's not, you don't get a lot of traction and you can't maneuver. But the yoga swing, he says at 53 years old, he wishes he would have known about this sooner. Loves it. Loves it. We have used it every day since we got it. Since
How
the first
was it
time we
for
used
you?
it. Oh, mate, you're in a swing and getting pleasured. How
Look,
do you think
I'm
it's
telling everybody right now.
It's fantastic.
You can go on Amazon. You can get a yoga trapeze for $35, $40.
It's way better than a pasta maker.
It has handles.
It has handles.
That's all I can
It's got
say.
straps. I put my legs up in the straps and put my arms up in the straps
Oh,
with
I
just
wish
my
you guys
ass
could
hanging out.
see the demonstration.
And
I'm
just-
kidding right now.
And then what's even better, as you're like this, you spin around.
Yeah, it can
And you
spin.
drop your neck back.
Really?
Oh,
like-
full throat access.
Yeah, upside down. And then you spin back and then you go the other way.
What I'm
It
trying,
is
what I'm
so
trying
fun
to figure out is what can I do with the pasta machine that somehow,
to make it dirty.
like, I'm gonna have like a naked pasta making party.
Am I invited to that
I
party?
don't. Of course.
Aw.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. Yeah, we'll do it at. Or, I'm sorry, we'll do it at Kevin's house though. So
Yeah.
the swing is available because we can't hang the swing at my house.
Okay, deal.
So-
We'll
We'll combine.
oh,
We'll
God.
figure this out.
So Angie,
Yeah.
you were originally with Kevin, but
Yeah.
you guys were just kind of
well, not with him.
I mean, she was with him, but not.
So I wanted to bring this up when you were talking about it. I think this is one of the most beautiful things about sugar dating, though,
Okay.
because we've talked about this so many times. The beautiful thing about having sugar relationships, when they're done right and they're done well and they're done in a healthy way, is everything is upfront, authentic, and on the table.
Yeah.
So I always knew what my role was when I was seeing Kevin. He always knew what his role was with me. And I grew tremendously under his mentorship and almost fatherliness, if you will.
Okay.
He was instrumental. And okay, so one thing that people don't know is that Vivian and I come from almost identical religious backgrounds.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Like
about
I am
that.
talking almost identical.
Mhm.
So we both had to learn to feel like we had permission in a way to express ourselves sexually and,
Yeah.
And
these
if you
different
guys
areas.
want a refresher on that, go all the way back to episode 9, I believe it was,
Yeah.
right?
And I think
Yeah.
my
That's-
episode 70 or 71.
Okay.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
So we introduced Angie, and she told her story. It was quite fascinating, and I couldn't wait to have her on. And then she ended up becoming a big part of the show for a while. So episode 9 is a really good one to refresh. And you're what?
I think it was 70 or 71,
Yeah, so
right in
right
that
around there.
realm.
Yeah.
60s was when Kimmy met me.
So
Yeah.
I think yours is titled Vivian's First Week as a Sugar Baby.
Yes.
You know, that is still our most downloaded podcast that we've
That's so
had. It's
crazy.
unbelievable
nuts.
how
That's
many
nuts.
downloads that one has got because people are so curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious too. It's been
So I'll have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really
So we have
good
the same.
episode.
Thank you. We have the same background. So we have both were from a same religion cult, if you
Right.
will. So we have the
And
similar.
Kevin is very good. The thing about sugar dating though is because Kevin and I were able to be so upfront and authentic and honest with each other. We always knew where we stood with one another. We knew that we would always be amazing friends, and initially with benefits, but we stayed friends.
Yeah.
So when Vivian came into the picture, because I have so much respect for Kevin and Kevin has so much respect for me, like I am nothing but beyond ridiculously stupid happy for them. And I'm so happy because you get to know these people and you get to know them and you do get to, like, I think people think that sugar dating sometimes is just like this meaningless transaction of sex for gifts or money or whatever. But like you really get to know these people and you get to develop a really strong bond and relationship with them. And that can be outside of traditional boyfriend-girlfriend relationships for sure. And it's healthy and it's good and it's honest. And so when he met you,
I agree.
seeing him, okay, I had to literally stop him when we were together the other night. Do you remember when we went to, what was the place? Tool. It was the lead singer of Tool. He has a bar here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Somebody
Yeah.
will have to Google it
Yeah,
or something.
Sure.
But we went to have wine and it was like when you guys were like telling me all about you.
Yeah.
And later in that evening, I looked at and like, I'm so happy
Kev.
for you. I'm sorry. Later in that evening, I looked at Cav. I think you were using the restroom or something. And I was like, I am so happy for you. You two are so fucking annoying. Like you are 100% that completely annoying, adorable, like cute. Oh my God. They like just want to eat each other's faces all the time.
We are super annoying.
But like I love,
get it.
but at the same time, like I'm so happy for it. But I was like, oh, you guys are so one of those couples.
and I'm happy and annoyed. Okay, I get it.
I think it's fantastic. But I think that's
Thank
one
you.
of the beautiful things that like sugar dating kind of brings in is that you begin to really see and value relationships like on a very honest level.
Yes.
Of what they are or not going to be. And then you want the best for those people that you do get to know. And like right now you are 100% the best for each other. And please use that yoga trapeze every fucking time.
Listen, he
You are in
loves it.
down.
He loves it so much. He was the one that suggested it the other night. It was like, hey, let's get back in the swing. Get back in that
Get
swing.
that
Nice.
I'm like, all right, we were in the pool, and he's like, get back in the swing.
I have a roll of static tape, a roll of static tape in the swing. And I think you have the perfect,
Okay,
I mean,
let's do it.
maybe.
Well, it's like
Oh, sorry.
it's like Angie said. You remember my party last year? I had all these sugar babies that were in my past that I had some kind of a relationship
Yeah.
with, and then I had some current sugar babies, and all
No drama.
still just great friends
Right.
and no drama.
No.
You're not going to invite a bunch of ex-girlfriends
No.
No,
to a party or something like that.
Like sugar dating is dating like on a whole new, depending on who you choose to date. I mean, everybody has their different experiences and what they're looking for. But for me, sugar dating was dating on a whole new level of maturity.
yes, maturity and honesty.
And I
where-
loved the fucking girls. I almost liked the girls that I met. In fact, I have created stronger relationships with the girls that I've met, especially through you, like at the Dua Lipa concert or at the party at your house or different avenues. I've created very long-term, beautiful friendships with these girls, more so than some of the sugar daddies that I dated. It's amazing. Like women don't have to be catty. We don't
No.
have to be this negative thing that like I feel like a lot of times these relationships are. It's a very healthy way to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Mature and honest, open, kind of not like an open all the time relationship, but an honest and mature relationship. And I think a lot of the premise of sugar dating too is for like the businessmen that are busy, that don't want to deal with that needy girlfriend or that immature girlfriend, the one that's going to get mad that he liked someone on Instagram or all those stupid stories.
Oh my
And like
gosh,
you and I
yeah.
think the same way. We're just not that kind of person. We're not jealous or anything.
But then there are those stories
aren't.
like yours where every once in a while in the sugar dating world, you just find a person. And I think you've had experiences
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
yeah, Alejandra and I just experienced our 1 year
1 year.
anniversary.
1 year,
Yeah.
And we get
And who would have
along
fucking thought?
fantastically.
Yeah.
Still to
Yeah.
this day, the sex just gets better and better all the time. Our communication has always been really good, but we're just more and more
I'm in a
comfortable.
relationship with someone that
Really?
I met on the site, and it's been about a year, which is why I've been so quiet.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. We just never talked about it on the show.
Well,
Oh,
But
what's the story here?
it's crazy. Like I met this person. Obviously it started off as sugar dating, but he's just so smart. And we would talk. I am a total geek. I love quantum mechanics. I went to go see Oppenheimer, and I think I had mental orgasms the entire, like, oh my God. Every time they said the name Niels Bohr, I think I came a little bit.
Okay.
It's so good. But he was just
Yeah,
incredible.
don't mind the noises in the theater.
God. So, yeah, I mean, so anyway, don't stop it. And my celebrity crush is totally some geeky scientist. Anyway, so I met this individual and he really could keep up with me. Like intellectually, we talked about quantum physics and just the mechanics of the world and energy and all these things. And I'm such a sapiosexual that there may or may not have been like little nights of ecstasy or whatever intertwined.
Right.
However, like we just connected really well. And I had not spent the night overnight with a man. I don't even know how long. And like just enjoyed being around this person. And so over time, it just kind of became more and more relationship like. But again, it was really beautiful because, and I think you will probably acknowledge this too, Vivian, because we entered in starting off on a sugar relationship, we were always so upfront and honest about like, this makes me comfortable. This doesn't make me comfortable. I like this. I don't like this. I don't want to feel like I am being told what to do. Just complete honesty out front on the table. So we never had to deal with those all that weird, awkward bullshit of a traditional like dating relationship. And it just happened very naturally. It just grew into this more long term.
How often do you see him?
I mean, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. We're coupled.
Officially a couple?
Oh yeah, we have been for.
Really?
Yeah. I've had the best experiences.
So does
with
he
him.
still help you financially?
No, not like he's very good. Like he's very good about if we go on a vacation or if we go, like recently went to Prescott and stayed at a nice resort and things like that. He will always and every time pay for anything like that. He will always and every time pay for dinner. If I need help, he would certainly give it to me. For me, my goal as a single mom, being in the sugar lifestyle was to build my business until I was independent. And I feel like I've done that at this point. I'm in a good place financially. So I don't feel like I need a lot of help, which was my goal personally. But if I needed it, he would certainly be there for me. But he's very chivalrous in and the way he conducts himself as a boyfriend for sure.
Now, how old is he?
He's 46.
Really?
Oh, he's 47. So he's a year older than me.
Oh, are you?
Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. I'm 46. Hello. I'm glad I'm really happy that surprised you though. The look of shock on your face was very gratifying.
She does not look it.
I knew you were in her 40s, but I was still thinking early 40s, but I think that's when I first met you.
I know.
So, wow.
I mean, she looks fantastic.
I know. Well,
regardless of what age.
Last week, I mean, Rachel, you could tell, was 48 and her producer is now 46.
I haven't met Rachel.
Gorgeous.
Who's Rachel?
No, she's the interview that we did last week.
Oh, I'll have to. Oh, the
one that,
Tiger Woods.
Yeah. The one that has the podcast Misunderstood.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But at 48 and 46, both of them look great. And we've invited them to the party. I don't know if they'll come.
I really hope they do.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Maybe I'll bring my little beau, my sexy little man who makes me come like a wanton little whore, and I fucking love it. Oh my God, best sex of my life. It's so good.
So where do you see this relationship going?
I mean, I don't know. I don't like to put, like, I'm older.
Does he have kids?
No, which is refreshing, right? And I do.
Previous wives?
My child. kiddo's birthday is actually today. Happy birthday. Not that she'll hear this, but
Yeah.
he does not have kids. He owns a business. His focus is really on his business. It's interesting. He actually was really big in the porn industry, not as an actor. He was on the administration side for the porn industry for years. And he traveled around. I won't say the name of the company because I don't know if I can or cannot, but he literally traveled the globe to like every country you can imagine, helping shoot porn and stuff for years.
You would think there was enough talent here, just the U.S.
I mean,
but okay.
Maybe there's just things in other countries.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't ask questions or make the rules.
So he doesn't do that any longer?
He does not do that any longer. He started his own business and he's very successful at that. So
you just taking it slow, just one day at a time?
I mean, you know my story. I was married for almost 20 years. I felt very oppressed. I don't like to feel like I'm owned. Right. I need a certain amount of space. It's only been a year and I'm very comfortable. And I think he is too. And we both kind of align in that way. Neither one of us want to feel like we're being told what to do. So
have
works.
You both deleted your profiles?
Yeah, I haven't been on Seeking. Okay. So no offense to Seeking, but you kind of suck now. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
we're not like a Seeking. We're not like a
that.
Seeking podcast. We're a sugar daddy podcast, right?
No.
Anyone who has a
sponsored
brain,
by Seeking.
Please go to Secret Benefits.
Well, we've tried that one too.
Wait, have you done Secret Benefits?
Yeah, so I found Alejandra on there.
It's the best.
Well,
for the woman's, from my perspective, I've had a female point of view from it.
Yeah.
What was your experience like on it?
Well, I've gotten a lot of messages, but the structure that the way the men have to pay for it, I really wasn't encouraged to do.
You have to buy like tokens.
Yeah, tokens. And then Dr. Charles out of San Diego said, he told me how much he spent in a very short amount of time on there. And it was much more than Seeking. So,
okay. So if you're listening, Secret Benefits, here's what I like about Secret Benefits.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to have a sugar daddy site sponsor.
It's very much like the OG Seeking. Like it's refreshing. Like the people know what they're on there for. They have conversations about what they're on there for. They're not afraid to be upfront. It doesn't feel like a glorified dating site. It's appropriate for what it is.
Yeah.
Because women don't have to pay for it. I don't know what it looks like financially on the men's side. So if you're listening, maybe you could switch that up to make yourselves a little bit more accessible for the men.
Yeah.
Secret Benefits.
I think I would probably sign up for it if they had like a monthly fee instead of the per message fee. Unlock.
Oh, is that what it is?
Unlock these photos for this amount of credits. Blah blah blah. It's just nickel and dime to me.
Oh no, I don't like that.
I wouldn't like that either. But I will say, as far as like the people that I met when I joined it and the conversations, it was very much old school Seeking. Yeah. It was very much a traditional arrangement website.
Well, I got to hear about the guys,
and I really like that.
Alejandra met on there, and it sounded like
I've met way more quality because I did it for a few months after I left Seeking a little over a year ago. I met much higher quality sugar daddies on Secret Benefits than I had started to meet on Seeking Arrangements, or just now. It's just Seeking now. Because I feel like Seeking changed so much as a platform to more of a traditional dating website. Mm-hmm. So it's been really good for me. But yeah, change it up for the men. Make it a little bit easier for them. Like the dynamic, the arrangement, sugar baby, sugar daddy dynamic needs a solid website for us to meet one another.
Or by God, we're going to build it ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to do something. I really feel like Secret Benefits has the potential for sure to do it, if they could just change up a few things to make it a little bit more user-friendly.
Now, where did you meet your guy?
I met him on traditional Seeking.
Yeah.
So, right before. Yeah. My guy.
Now,
I met mine on a podcast.
Vivian, have you deleted your profile?
I wonder if he might actually love to come on here.
You think he would?
I mean, he might. I could ask. I for sure
could ask him.
Does he know
about it?
Yeah, because we're so open and honest about everything. Yeah, he 100% knows about the podcast, and he knows. Well, he met me on the site, so he knows. You know what?
I met my guy because of the site, but not on the site. Ironically, you know,
right? Because you weren't even on the site. Have you ever?
No, I was on site.
It's the craziest story of how she got to this point. We talk about this, but we still
a couple episodes
because you
revisited
knew.
everything.
I knew Kimmy.
You knew Kimmy.
So I was an Airbnb guest for
She
Marcus's.
was an Airbnb guest of mine.
And
She
then
was-
I quit my job. I quit my relationship. I moved across the country to start a new life.
From the state we won't talk about and the religion that we share.
Yeah, that we share. Exactly. The religious cult we share and the state we don't discuss.
Okay.
And so then I was just bored and I didn't work yet. And I was like at the house all the time. And I overheard Marcus editing this podcast. And I remember messaging Mia, the girl I lived with at that time. And I messaged her. I was like, oh my God, this guy is like a sugar daddy. Like, what does that even mean? And so then I Google it and look it up because I don't know. I'm like, what the this is the guy, a freak. And then I basically looked into it. And then like the next day, Kimmy came over because she came over like for lunch or dinner, like to get food
Kimmy
and
just
hang out.
helped herself at my house.
Yeah, so she just came
Just
over
walked right
and then became friends with us. And then we went for a walk. We went scorpion hunting. And then we just became really good friends.
Did you go to the Corgi Bork?
No, but but I did go to
parks.
Corgi birthday party because I went to dog park and then met, it's a whole thing. And then I went to Corgi birthday party. But anyway, so shout out to that guy who owns a Corgi. And it was really cute. I bought a stuffed animal, like a gift. It's crazy. But anyway.
Note to all sugar daddies. Own a Corgi.
Own a Corgi. Listen,
Own a
they're
Corgi.
cute and shit.
Yeah.
So basically, I was a guest and then I joined. So the first week,
Her and
Mia.
Kimmy started talking about it.
And you guys
Yes.
became roommates.
Well, we became friends first,
Okay.
and then I started talking about dating Hinge and Bumble, and how I got like
Oh,
every
Lord.
night. You know, when you're cute and attractive on Bumble or Hinge, it's like
No
insane.
offense, but
You
I
fall
morally
asleep.
feel better being on Seeking or Secret Benefits
Yeah.
than I do on Hinge or Bumble.
Dude, listen, you fall asleep.
you
It's
feel
like
a little fake, don't you?
I mean,
it's like 200-300 people the next morning. You wake up, you're like, how do I filter through these people?
Yeah.
And then they're all,
Which is a problem for us guys.
It's not. You want to say it's what was I saying the other day? Kevin and I were talking about this. Not that it's a gold digging aspect of the money matters, but the lack of money, the lack of financial security at a certain
certainly
age
matters.
It matters, you know, the lack of it. Not that I'm looking for a certain caliber because I have my own money. You know, when I traveled here alone, I took a year off of work just to figure some shit out. And
well, and if I'm going to send you a video, I should at least get like some kind of royalties, intellectual property rights, like some bullshit off of it, right?
sure, whatever. But anyway, so I hated those sites and I was getting nowhere with them. And
Right.
I became friends with Kimmy and she's like, you should join Seeking. That's how I find like everyone I know and date. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
That's
She's
how
like, that's
she
what
met me.
Marcus
Yeah.
talks about. You overheard him talking about it on the podcast, but like that he was editing in his office at his home. I was like, what? And then I joined. So that first week was like, I joined it. And then that's how I met Ryan. He was the only person I really met on there. And then I also met I don't shoot. What's his podcast name? I don't know if that's his real name or his podcast name. Okay, I met Beep. That was on the show. That was the virologist. That was on the show.
Okay,
He's
that's
brilliant.
that's his real name.
That's his real name.
That's
yeah.
his is his real name.
Yeah, he
so
went by
we'll
it.
have-
No, that's
Oh,
what he
he
went
was
by it. Yeah.
he was just full.
Well, he is
He
brilliant.
dated Rose, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I actually spent the night at his house and nothing
Oh.
happened. We just we got high and laughed and talked about
Talked
physics
about
and
the
science and politics.
wonders
and
of the universe.
The universe. Yeah, it was really cool. So I've only met very few people from the
Sure.
site because I got too nervous. / I met some people that took me on vacations and trips and things. So and then I listened to the show. And I was like, God, this Kev guy sounds like super hot. Like, what's he like? You know, like I love his humor. I love his mindset. I love his little tidbits. And then I remember within like 2 or 3 days, I texted both Marcus, Lily, and Kimmy separately and talked to them and was like, what's he like? What's he look like? What's his? You know?
Yeah, you guys had this exchange that was going on, like
Yeah.
via podcast, but not ever
we never
actually
met.
meeting each other.
Right.
Well,
via
Kimmy
podcast.
even said, "Hey, I think you guys would be a fun match."
Yeah.
Right.
Kimmy met me the first day and said,
and
I
then
met this
he
girl. I
kind
think
of
she's good for you.
started giving Ryan a hard time
Yeah.
a little bit, right? Like
So
there was
mean,
a
so
little
bad.
of like, you know, just a little jesting going on or whatever.
So bad.
We
And
still
then-
love Ryan.
What about-
Ryan?
We still
Well,
love
of
Ryan.
course.
Ryan's not a bad person. Ryan
No.
just has some healing to go through and some processes that he needs to do on his end. I don't really know what he's doing or where he's at, but
we wish him the best.
yeah, I do wish him the best. Honestly, I do, and I do know that he's gone through a lot. But I do. We're just not. We're not each other's person. You
That's
know?
okay.
That's okay. So
So you guys
whatever.
met. You met by proxy.
we've had our
through-
proxies, but then I became assistant because
Right.
guidance and
Oh,
like
no.
I became Kimmy's assistant.
Okay.
Because Kimmy needed guidance and
Yeah.
assistance and with life. And I just started waking up earlier, making sure she's going to the gym. I've been cooking her healthy meals
Look
and
at
just became
you.
friends with her. And then she was like, I need to go to Hawaii for this, to be a booth babe, to do this trade show thing.
It sounds
That
like
was
Kimmy
invited by
needs a
Kevin.
trapeze. yoga
she
trapeze.
sure does. Listen. So then Kev was like, invited her and she said, can I take my assistant? And he's like, yeah. And then that's where I met Kev, was meeting in advance for that event
But
for work.
if I'm correct, the people in the podcast who participated, had already said, look, Kev, you need to meet Vivian.
Yes, that is
Vivian,
correct.
you need to meet Kev. Like they
Yep.
had already predicted there was going to be
Which is wild.
some kind of shingading.
Well, you never know.
Right.
That's like letting somebody up on a blind date.
Yeah.
You just never know how they're going to get along. But
As she adjusts, she
are.
plays with her
Excuse
boobs.
me.
She's like, I'm thinking of Kevin.
Listen, we're messaging right
So
now.
I'm sure you are.
Very dirty messages.
Are you?
So yeah. Let's see what. Oh my god! Look what he just sent me.
Hold on, folks. We'll be back.
I mean, this is an audio.
oh
thing.
my. Yeah. Is this the face you
to
make?
Marcus,
Wait a
you
minute.
hussy.
Pay-
That's what he said.
Yeah. Tell them to
Okay,
stop
so
interrupting.
no. Kevin literally just messaged her and he says, pay attention to you hussy.
Marcus.
That's the face you make. Oh,
It's okay.
That's all right.
Marcus.
We got a lot of beeping for this show.
so Kevin just messaged her and said, pay attention to Marcus, you hussy. That's the
Exactly.
face you make. Do you want to see the face she makes?
The
Then he
O-
sent me
is
a
it an O
porn.
face?
Then he sent me a
Ooh.
porn.
That's the face.
Okay.
I mean, it does look, it kind of looks
So
like
they
you
just
too.
showed me a girl that's what is she?
She's getting
on her
some good
belly.
doggy style.
Yeah, getting some good doggy
Look
style.
what he wrote. Look what he wrote earlier.
I always want your cock and
That's what I wrote.
I just got a tank top that says "Daddy's little slut." I feel like maybe
Really?
I should give it to you.
Maybe you should, because he just.
I'm
called
just
me
gonna
that.
be your continual like sexual toy device clothing supply.
You're doing so good with it.
I'm working on it.
He called me.
See, but only in sugar dating would you have this relationship where
Right.
like Kevin is my OG,
Mm-hmm.
who I've talked about and admired so much, right? And like I'm just like, yes, please.
And you've brought other girls to play with Kevin.
Yes, please.
yeah, well, I've stolen his girls too.
You've stolen
so I
girls?
do. I'm a terrible. Have you noticed? I'm like, I've oftentimes thought, I wonder if they don't invite me on the show sometimes because like when there's a new girl on the show,
No,
like,
that thought has never come
No,
out.
never.
I am a terrible.
Listen, that's what I'm
stealer.
looking for. I have a whole.
I'm a
thing.
terrible girl stealer.
I had a
Like
dream
I
about
like
the
my
other day.
girls. I want to play with my girls. I want to, like, yeah. Oh, I need more
So
girls.
bad.
That's the one thing I will say. Being in this,
Now that I think of it, you have pilfered a few times.
several.
Yeah.
Because my relationship that I got into definitely has winded down. It was a really good experience for me.
Mhm.
I would say it's definitely winded down. I definitely don't feel like I had enough girl play.
Do you experience with girls with your current relationship?
Yeah, we've definitely. Well, look, it's a mandate with me. If you're going to date me, we're going to include girls,
Right.
like
Agreed. Absolutely.
or something. Like I just want to be outside of the box. I don't want to be Oh my God, please! I had vanilla for a long time.
Right.
No vanilla,
Agreed.
and
I'm
I
the same way.
enjoy girls. It's like it's such a fun
Me too.
dynamic to
It's
bring
so fun.
into.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
But I have not gotten to do it as much as I like. So, I don't know if I'll go back to arrangements as per se, only because I feel a lot more in control of my life now, sexually and financially. Like maybe I'll be a sugar mama soon.
That would be fun.
I think it would be
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
You'll be a sugar mama, but just you'll be like the one looking for like the unicorn girls to add to your relationship.
or boys or whatever I
But
want.
I'm saying,
I mean,
like, we're looking
that's
for
the fun of being on top.
We're looking for one or two girls for us.
She is so subtly hinting to me this entire conversation, by the way. Hey.
Also, if there's any thick redheads,
You like redheads?
I'd like her. I've never had a redhead.
You haven't?
I would love to.
That's
I could. I'm a good
That's actually
procurer. I could
the
find you a
logo.
redhead.
Please. For
It
Kevin and
is.
I,
that's
you'll-
our pop art.
Yeah,
for
if
the-
you
She's
find
a
me
hottie.
like a hot
Little
redhead,
redhead.
or a thick redhead for Kevin and I, we will love.
Wait. So I have a question for you. Totally off topic. We're just taking over this
I
entire.
know. What
Hey,
did
go
you
right
have a
ahead.
schedule? I mean,
So when I'm with girls, I'm very dominant. Like I love in a very sensual way.
Okay.
But I mean, I love making a girl just like fucking come and come and come and come until she can't. Like it's so good.
Ding,
'cause
ding, 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 ding.
ding, 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 ding.
Well, I think a lot of women don't realize like how much they can orgasm until they're like really
Yes.
dealt with gently and consistently to that point that they're shown that. So I really love doing that. Would you say, do you think if you were in a threesome situation with Kev, Do you feel like you'd be more submissive, dominant, or have you not felt that out at all?
I think I could go a few different ways. We've discussed this briefly, and I've had fantasies and a few actual literal dreams about it recently.
Wow.
Literal. I'd message in the morning, like, I woke up, I'm like, this is the dream I had last night. It was wild. We should make it happen. I think it varies. I think I could go both. I think I'm mainly more submissive.
Yeah.
But I think I could, depending on the person, the girl, have more of a dominant situation. Depending on the situation
I feel like
we
you
discuss
could
it in
be very
advance.
dominant when you're with him because you guys have this dynamic.
We have a tight bond and we have a really tight relationship. We think the same in a lot of ways. So it depends on the girl, I'd say, to be honest. Like depending on the girl that we'd be with, I'd want them to feel comfortable in whatever they're open with. So I think that I could do
either.
As she's stroking her microphone.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
She's stroking her microphone like a cat right now.
Angie's over here stroking her microphone. I'm like, okay, you gotta
Stop it. I'm so glad I wore panties today.
She's just looking at me like with these eyes, stroking the microphone as I'm talking about. Well, I think with depending on the girl,
like 100% though, I totally did not even realize that I was doing that, and now I'm actually a little bit.
I wish we got that on camera.
I'm a little bit embarrassed, but it was.
We have totally lost control here.
I'm sorry, Marcus. What did you have on? She was like earlier. What's he gonna talk about? What are you gonna talk about?
I'm so flustered.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, wait. Hold on.
I have no doubt we'd have plenty to talk about.
To answer your question, I could be both.
I think you'd be great.
I think I could have some girl if a girl felt comfortable enough to be like, for us to be like dominant and both suck his cock kind of situation and like push each other, her head down. I'd be fine with that, but I'd also be fine with being the one all strapped up and getting pleasured because I've not had that experience either.
I think ultimately in a relationship where you're having threesomes, it comes down to you feeling very confident and comfortable with your primary partner.
Right, absolutely.
And you never question your place with that partner because you always know ultimately, even if you're being more sexually submissive for a particular point of time or whatever, I love switching. I don't feel like anyone should ever claim any particular role. The world is a smorgasbord. Try everything.
Right. Yep. I think about preferences.
Don't pick one flavor and just stick with it.
I think it just depends on the girl.
There's 31 flavors for a reason, right?
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
What's important is with your primary partner that you know your position. So even when you're being submissive with another girl, you know that you're really in control of the situation because your partner listens to you, respects you, and is with you in that experience. Absolutely. So I think I agree with you that like it depends on the person that you choose to bring in.
Correct. Yeah. And I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable.
Because you're still at a point where I don't think you would be jealous, but
just tie my hands up. So I'll stop.
What if Kevin started paying a lot more attention to that other person?
What, in the sexual realm?
Yeah.
Like during, I wouldn't mind.
You don't mind?
No, because it's just that's a time frame, you know, that's
I don't
like
feel like,
free
I don't
play.
feel like he would ever do that.
But yeah, but even if he did, it wouldn't, I'm just not that kind of person. I'm pretty secure with who I am and just like you
and
are.
if you bring someone in for a sexual experience during that sexual experience, you kind of have to accept that everything is fair game.
Yeah, everything's fair game. Yep, absolutely. It's free play. It's like, what's that thing when you play video games and like you can't die and you can like...
Oh, you respawn.
Yeah, respawn, but it's like you play the open free play of video game. You're not actually playing like on live, you know, where things actually matter. It's like the other world that you play. I forget what the realm...
It's like practice land.
Yeah, practice land. It's like... Yeah. It's like that. It's like fun, free play where you can do whatever, say whatever, act whatever, and it's just that free time frame. Now, if my partner or this person, individual like Kevin, were to communicate a lot with this girl and have a relationship outside of that and continue that, that's when it would be across the realm of emotional, more of a relationship where I'd feel insecure or upset about it and my feelings would hurt, in which case I would communicate that open and honestly before I'd freak out.
And I think that's where you have conversations before these things happen. Like you say, hey, look, if we get into this, like I prefer to be the one contacting and having conversations with the girl. Or setting things up. Like I don't have to worry about this or that or whatever. Like we predetermine these things because it makes me feel more comfortable when it's over. Because like aftercare and dealing with the aftermath of including other partners sexually is important. Like you need to have those conversations first. Yep. You don't want to have like a drunken one night threesome.
Well, I know Alejandra is very curious about it. She's never done it. She's brought up the subject a few times. Cute? Alejandra? What? You haven't met?
I have never met Alejandra.
Oh my God, she's beautiful.
Just so my beating heart.
She's gorgeous.
Does she like to be tied up?
You know, she's
Follow-up
still
question.
I
finding
still
herself
girls.
sexually. She's
I'm just
still,
kidding.
yeah, she's still young and hasn't experienced a lot and has
Okay.
a lot
Well,
of.
what I say for her is definitely to communicate. And when she thinks about it in her head, to think about, would she be okay with you making, with you, first off, like sometime this is her. This is her. Look at her. Look at that.
Oh, hello.
Beauty. I went to the strip club with her. It was a blessing.
Yeah, we had a lot of
We
fun.
did. We went in the bathroom together and just hung out and talked in like the locker room area. Anyway.
Yeah. Is she going to
So-
be at the party?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
party.
going to the party.
Yes.
So I think as long as you communicate with your partner, the best advice I can say is, so I've had a handful of threesomes with my ex-partner and introduced some friends of mine to threesomes rounds, but never had threesome with my friends. Just told them about it and they started having it with their boyfriends or their husbands.
Yeah.
And the advice I give is that one, communication is huge, and
Right.
two, discuss it in advance and discuss it afterwards as well. And make sure you, as a united front, understand that there could be feelings and emotions to go through and happen. But
Yeah.
make sure you discuss in advance. Like if you don't want kissing, if you don't want full penetration, if anything goes, discuss those guided, if you will, boundaries and guidelines
100%.
in advance, so you know what's on the table, what's not. Unless if everything goes, everything goes. But then you have to make sure you're familiar with that and you think about it in your mind. If you feel uncomfortable seeing your partner passionately kiss someone, but then you're fine with them railing
See,
someone.
she got mad the other
Then
day
that's
at
okay,
me just
you know?
because I followed somebody on Instagram.
See,
She made me unfollow
That's
them.
a little different from how I think. But that's all right. That's her
Right.
personally.
Yeah.
I'm just a little, I don't mind those
But
things.
that could mean something different to
Correct.
her
It could
as
mean
well.
something.
It could, to her, it could mean a deeper interest or more like,
Right.
oh, I want to follow them because I want to find out more about them. And I could have the potential to, like, there's a lot of things that go on in people's brains. I think one of the more important things too, whenever you're entering into more sexually open things in a relationship, both partners have to want it equally. If there's one partner that's doing it to try to make the other partner happy,
Mhm.
that will absolutely 100% not work.
Right.
It will fuck shit up. Like, don't do it. You have to both be
Into it.
really into it.
Right.
Well, and here's the issue of where feelings get involved. You know, we started out just sugar dating, and then, like 3 or 4 months into
Oh, wait,
it.
is Alejandra
Hmm?
is Alejandra your 1 year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I feel like I was so disrespectful. I'm so sorry. I didn't
Why?
realize that it was her when you said Alejandra. I thought it was the Tiger Woods girl.
Oh, no.
That's why I was like, oh, I didn't
No.
realize it was.
No. So
your
it's just funny how
Alejandra.
things have evolved because we just started out casually sugar dating, just
Yeah.
right. She listened to the podcast and became very interested, and then we ended up going out. And then, like 3 or 4 months into it, I still remember her saying this to me. We were just sitting there talking about things, and she goes, "Look, I'm not a jealous person. That's fine. I'm not a jealous person."
Until I am.
Contraire, frere. She turned out to be.
It's a little bit of jealousy.
That's the thing. As things have progressed,
Sure.
we've gotten closer. All of a sudden, she's starting to pay attention
Sure.
to the 10:30 or 11 o'clock calls and texts I get at night from other girls saying, "Hey, what's up, baby? How are you?" Whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does change as more emotional vulnerability comes into play.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, it's always easy to be kind of carefree
Right.
and right. But,
Which leads me to Vivian.
oh yes,
Uh-huh.
Vivian.
What
Vivian is
do
Go on.
you think that would ever enter your relationship?
yeah,
What?
Vivian.
Because you're still in the honeymoon period right now.
What would
You're just
Rob?
having fun.
What?
Jealousy and feelings and
Say what now?
yeah.
No, I mean feelings. Yeah, jealousy, certain level. But again, I'm pretty confident /
What about jealousy on? So I'm going to bring this up at a different thing because we only talk about typically the jealousy from women. I know Kevin well, and I've never seen him really behave or feel or act this way towards a woman.
right.
So what about maybe, sorry, Kev, I'm putting you out there. What
Go
about
on.
maybe jealousy though on his part?
You know what?
That's true, huh?
Here's the
Right?
thing.
I don't
Because
think
he was
that's something
always
had
he's
to
always been
contemplate
fun.
before.
Hey, 18 minutes and they're
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
here.
I was just gonna say.
And
then-
he's always 18
I mean,
minutes. Get out. I'm
last
pumpkin.
time he-
I'm telling you, at midnight, the man turned into a pumpkin, and
Yeah.
now like you're spending the night with him.
And the last
Yeah,
time
I
he was
live
here, he
there.
goes,
Yeah, you do live
he
with
goes, and she stays the night, and I don't mind.
Yeah, he enjoys it. He
And that was
wants
huge.
to be around. And I know that you're right. We are in a honeymoon phase, and I know that phase is now. But we also we're very, very similar personality traits. We're very similar with being an introvert, but also like going out, but then going back home. We like to experience and travel together, but we also like being alone. So I think that we have a good balance. I think that either one of us, if we needed time away from the other person, we could respectfully communicate that and say, hey, I need time away. Or if he honestly was like, at any point got sick of me, I think he has the time, the money, the means for the most part. If he wanted to go and do a weekend getaway by himself or go away somewhere and just say, I need to do this for me, I would be like, absolutely, have fun. Like, I wouldn't affect or bother me.
Yeah.
It probably would only affect or bother me if I was next to him and he was like, I don't want to be near you.
But what if he started to get jealous?
So that's weird to think, because I traditionally have this mindset of, I don't necessarily believe in jealousy, and I get upset and I don't tolerate it, because I think that's such a silly thing. I don't really understand it. I don't really tolerate it. So I would like to see if that ever did happen. I'm sure we would communicate it first. I have not seen that of him at all. No. And he knows, like, I'm going back to my Midwestern state actually tomorrow morning. I leave, and I'll be seeing some people that I had relationships with previously that we are just friends now. Mm-hmm. And I hope that he trusts that situation is strictly that. And then I've also known that he's seen girls, and the one that he previously told me that he was actually in love with, but he's no longer in love with her, but he was at one point. But he's seen her recently, and they don't have a sexual relationship at any time, but they did go and do some fun things together. And I just trust him with that situation. Think if anything is happening that's not appropriate, that I'll eventually find out. I'm not going to live a jealous lifestyle where I'm questioning it or being upset and being that girl. Like, who were you with? How late were you out? What happened? I'm not going to be accusatory. I'm just not that person.
I think jealousy is 100% normal. I think we all get twinges of jealousy because it's really not related to what the other person is doing. It's related to us feeling insecure in some area in ourselves or in our relationship. I think jealousy is natural. I think it's healthy, and I think it's normal when it is processed in a good way and communicated about in a good way. Occurs, right? I mean, things happen and you're like, but jealousy is really more about something happened that is making me question me.
Right.
And like, my worth and my value and my place and my role. It's not really so much about what the other, because the other person's, people are going to do what they're going to do.
Exactly. So it's more about internally ourselves. Because there was, not to interrupt you, but there was a moment where I saw that a previous sugar baby that he was with, he's had a variety. He has a solid, what's that called? Roster. He has a solid previous roster.
He's got a nice history.
He has a beautiful history. I mean, look at her. But also, I mean, a lot of young, very beautiful blondes. I mean, you're gorgeous.
That's really sweet.
She
keeps hitting on me.
So he has a great roster list, right? So there was one that was previously, I forget even what her name was, but she messaged him and sent him photos and videos, and we didn't really talk about it. Phone was, or the iPad or something was near me, and I saw it, and I just didn't even look. I looked over and it was showed, and then I was like, whatever. And then later it tinged in my brain. Like, it was like, hey, did you see that? Do you remember seeing that? I was like, dude, it's not a big deal. But it said do you like the photos and videos I sent you, Daddy? Your baby girl misses you, or something like that. Sure. And I just ignored it. I didn't even bring it up to him. Yeah. I let it slide for a few weeks, and then I brought it up to him. I was like, I feel kind of guilty because I saw this, but I also want to know that I respect you to know, I didn't click on it, I didn't look at it, but I felt weird. That's what this relationship is with me. Let me know, kind of. And he was like, no, we went further into the conversation further. He's like, I'm you're my girlfriend. He literally told some people, I'm your girlfriend. And he offered, it wasn't a big deal, but he even said, I'll show you, he's turned other girls down recently. Reach out to him out of nowhere.
But I think that's the beautiful thing, that when you do start to feel jealous, instead of letting it become this thing that festers and grows and you don't talk about, when you do bring it up and you do have good conversations about it with someone who is in a healthy place.
Absolutely.
It can actually bring about really good conversation and really open that up. So even jealousy in and of itself can be a good foundation builder for a relationship if dealt with in the right way.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I knew all I had to do was wind you two up and then let you go.
Oh, hi.
And that's exactly what happened.
I can't
Let's
believe
just stroke the microphone.
I just literally jerked off a microphone today. That's fantastic.
Well, we've got to vacate the studio. We've got people waiting. We could do this all day. So, Angie, you're going to come back?
I would really love to. I think
we'd love
so
to have you.
Fun.
Vivian, always glad to hear from you. You're full of good stuff. Our listeners have kind of gotten a little bit vested in your story and Kevin's story, and we want to see where this goes.
Okay. It is the sugar daddy romance that we all hope for. Secretly.
All right. Well, if you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, questions, or comments, go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. And there you'll also find a button that says, come party with us, where you can enter to come to our party in November. Don't wait. Get it in early. I'm telling you right now, the people that enter now are getting priority, okay? So don't wait till the last minute. And then, follow us on Instagram. We got a lot of great stuff there. Okay, Vivian,
Yeah.
Angie, until next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.